At Wyalusing State Park, one can listen to stories told by descendants of people who lived there before it even became a state park. Get ready to uncover the story that has been passed down from generation to generation among the old timers, the real tale of the Wyalusing State Park's treasure cave. The legend tells of a stone face, a perilous passage between rocks, and a stash of silver hidden away in the depths of the cave. The adventure commences at the pinnacle of the bluff trail, precisely at the crossroads leading to Treasure Cave. Descending numerous wooden steps that hug the bluff's slope, the path to the cave traces an ancient Native American trail. The flint-rich stones line the bluff's edges, and the indigenous people utilized this trail to access the flint. After acquiring the flint, they would proceed down a sequence of trails that wound their way to the river they affectionately called the Father of Waters, or Mississippi, meaning Big River. Just before passing through the eye of the needle, from the stone pillar's base, observe the bluff's contours closely. Gradually, an image will take shape, a towering face with a prominent forehead, a distinctive nose, and a less pronounced chin. This is no mere coincidence, for, according to legend, this face is known as the guardian of Treasure Cave. As long as the visage remains visible, the treasure remains secure. The saga persists. As soon as the guardian vanishes, the treasure will be exposed. The lore persists, yet the treasure shall remain concealed until the guardian fades away completely and the needle's eye seals shut. Only then shall the novel pathway be unveiled leading to the elusive treasure. For the time being, we must follow the trail that winds through the needle and leads to the base of Treasure Cave. As we look up to the entrance of Treasure Cave, it's essential to contemplate the past and comprehend how the cave earned its name. As we turn our gaze towards the north, tracing the meandering path of the Mississippi River beyond the Wisconsin River, we catch a glimpse of the former stronghold known as Fort Crawford. In an era when most long-distance travels occurred via waterways, France, Britain, and the United States vied for control of the vital confluence at Prairie du Chien. Built in 1816, Fort Crawford cemented American authority over the region. Throughout the 19th century, the United States Army maintained a presence in Prairie du Chien, with two distinct fortifications bearing the name Fort Crawford. The first of these was in use from 1816 to 1832, while the second served from 1832 to 1856. Upon relocating to the second fort, soldiers stationed at Fort Crawford performed a range of duties. Perhaps most significantly, they assumed a more combative stance in enforcing President Andrew Jackson's mandate to remove Native Americans from lands east of the Mississippi River. In 1832, troops under the leadership of Colonel Zachary Taylor battled in the Black Hawk War, a bloody conflict that unfolded across the Midwest. Intermittently, the soldiers would receive payment for their service, which, during the era, was in form of small silver coins. On occasion, new recruits would ride their horses to Dubuque, Iowa, the site of the next largest fort, to collect their pay on behalf of the entire garrison. The journey to Dubuque was both lengthy and challenging. The small contingent of soldiers would first need to cross the Wisconsin River, which involved taking a ferry near the present-day town of Bridgeport. After that, they would follow a well-established trail tracing the rivers to Dubuque. Once the troops had filled their saddlebags with silver coins, they and their horses would retrace their steps on a trail that cut through what is now called Wyalusing State Park. It is important to note that the soldiers who made this journey were often young recruits who had been tasked with delivering the coins back to Fort Crawford during the Black Hawk War. Imagine the fear and uncertainty that must have plagued them when they encountered groups of Native Americans along the way. Yes, it is said that on occasion, when the soldiers were returning with their silver, they encountered a group of Native Americans who they feared would attack them. In a moment of panic, the soldiers sought refuge in a hollow space in the bluff, which was, unfortunately, too small for them and their horses. In order to lighten the load, they placed the silver coins in the nearby cave, which is now known as Treasure Cave, and made their return trip to Fort Crawford as quickly as possible. Over time, the legend of the hidden silver in the Wyalusing State Park cave spread among the soldiers' families and became a story passed down from generation to generation. Many attempted to find the treasure, but none succeeded. The cave became known as the Treasure Cave, and the stone face that guarded it became part of the legend. Today, visitors to Wyalusing State Park can hike the trail to Treasure's Cave, see the stone face, and imagine the soldier's journey and the legend of the hidden silver. And who knows, maybe someone will one day discover the treasure and put an end to the legend once and for all. And that, dear friends, is only one legend that has its roots in Wyalusing State Park. Who knows, maybe someone someday will find the bits of silver. In the meantime, enjoy the real treasure, Wyalusing State Park.